Hey everybody, this is Rydo and we're back to Indiana Jones and the Emperor's Tomb. We made it finally to a second level, and so now we're in Prague, and then we were outside for just a brief second, and now we're inside what seems to be probably a Nazi German-run facility, although weirdly we do seem to have just a lot of stuff going on in this area. Like, this is quite the castle. So I can't whip through a door, and yet there's a gate here.
Too much this, I hope. Just keep your eyes open.
Maybe when I'm done here, Herr Göring will give me that hiding promise.
Interesting. That sounds like some latent sexual homosexuality reference there. So it seems like we're gonna go through this door, or try to go through this door, and then we're gonna have to like pull some other doors open. This is interesting because you have this shiny chains, and I guess this is the torture chamber. Tie them up. But so let's just see what's hid behind this door.
That's not gonna work.
You'd think there'd be some kind of interaction with this, but no. I think what I am learning here, though, is that you probably should use the whip early in the levels. You have this kind of area of effect. But the trick here is going to come down to just moving fast, so that he can't get a bead on you and attack you. And it does seem to just attack everything in the circle, which is nice. Well, I'm about to lose completely, and like swapping your target is not working. Alright, so let's grab our hat. Let's not fast enough to get to a cantina. So, you know, just kind of immediately, that when the game wants you to shoot, you probably should shoot. Interesting. So, anything mounted to the wall is just going to have this shiny 3D appearance to it. Maybe there is going to be something that interacts with those walls later. And I guess I was wrong on my theory that you should try to take out the people with your
Just
fists.
keep your eyes open.
I think if you could take out the guy with the gun,
Maybe when I'm done here, Herr Göring will give me that hiding promise.
so you have just like two guys here. The Luger, these all have Lugers as a weapon, which arguably maybe means I should be using the Luger. But the only thing it seems like, is that the Luger is maybe a bit quieter. Notice how that is all slid down. So these are switches. And now we have a table leg. It seems to be like the only thing in there, though, or I would have kind of expected something more. There's a lot of opportunity for there to be secret switches, or for them to just repeat content to show there is a prison here. I guess maybe if I had stealthily jumped over the side, maybe I would have been behind him and could have grabbed him that time. Although, what you would have preferred, I think. Do we have any other options? No. Should I try and roll? Probably. New kinds of trap. Now, realistically, if I get hit by this trap, I should die in one hit, but video game wise, I'm hoping they'll cut me a little bit more slack. A lot of this is straight up from Indiana Jones and the Last Crusade. Are these traps, once we pass them, disabled? Sounds like that's the case. I kind of don't mind a callback, and particularly if it's just going to be kind of a silly reference and not a big part of the game. Problem with this is it seems like they'd want you to jump and then roll. Maybe just avoid that much. Avoid that much. We do now know that it doesn't completely kill you, but it does enough damage. And without my upgraded cantina, we're gonna have some issues. Okay. Just, I guess, maybe you were supposed to jump over that, maybe you weren't. This is getting really crazy, though, to have this many traps. And so you go all the way around just to open that gate. And again, it's not quite a puzzle. I would have preferred there to be some actual logic in there, but it's something. That's interesting. My health did refill when I refilled the bottle. I don't feel like that happened in the first level. It makes a lot of sense that it would refill instead of just making you like drink the water, then refill. Again, refill a second time.
Wir können hier Hilfe gebrauchen.
We've just freed. Is Luger dead? I mean, is the... Oh, the enemy's dead. Oh, man. Since this guy fell off the edge, I don't think I can get close enough to pick up that bullet. That gun. Unless I could just stand under here and press the X button to pick it up. No such luck. So yeah, we're somewhat tightly constrained on the amount of bullets in the game. I imagine that's what the rest of this level is. I wouldn't be upset if the level wasn't anywhere as long as the first level, though, since we are in, even if we are in a castle, it doesn't need to be as big as an entire, like, Tibetan mountainside. Am I supposed to jump down? Nope, that's an abyss. Seems pretty clear we're supposed to hook and swing. And yet both Y and B are not working. And B should be the default. Is there an enemy somewhere? And that's why his fists are up. What I don't want to have happen here, it's interesting how it kind of juts out there. I don't want to have me fall to my death and then it reset and then I have to do the whole fighting section again because I've run and jumped. So let's just take this back this way. I wonder if drinking water is more efficient if you drink it early instead of waiting till your health being really low down. Seems like it might be. Like, you can even see a balance. It doesn't really want me to go any further. Am I supposed to target with the whip? I don't think so. Am I possibly supposed to lower it somehow? Like that isn't a switch. That's not a switch. That's not a switch. That's not a switch. Yeah, that basically means like this table leg is the only object in this area that I might consider is important. I don't see how a table leg would really become important. Particularly since we're getting the whip prompt. I guess we're gonna just have to jump. Either there's... I could stand back further, I guess, until we get the prompt right about here, so maybe if I just inch my way forward. And yeah, usually they want you exactly centered. go ahead and drop this. Start this. This might be a case where I'm hitting the wrong button, so I'll press the Y button. The Y button though spins around above your head, or the B button makes the animation that would make a lot more sense. Alright, well, run, jump, swing.
That's not gonna work.
Run, jump, swing. Fall to your death. Am I gonna get any checkpoint here? Or is it just the beginning of this whole level? I think it's reset the entire level. Yep. And you can't make checkpoints. And this is not iterative enough to justify doing this. It just really is not.
Too much more of this, I hope. Just keep your eyes open.
Even I'm done here, Herr Göring will give me that hiding club he promised me.
Hey, so can we jump over the side? No. Can I hit the guys? So maybe that saved me some damage, but mostly I think it will just save me some time. So I don't think I can take the wood with me any further. The fact that you can just kind of rush through all of that probably is a testament to the fact that they kind of expected you to die a little bit more often. Alright. It takes 3-4 shots. Here you can see the guys clip through the ground. Then when I turned around, they clipped him through the ground. In a slightly different position, the auto adjust was upset that he was to the right of the banister. It was not upset that his entire bottom torso was in the ground. But the fact that it even has auto adjust is saying something. Of course, more modern games would better program this to say, hey, in this scenario of a character being dead and his body clipping through the ground, why don't we just despawn that enemy? Or secondarily, you would just bump them up. There are some fairly standardized ragdoll physics nowadays because there's some fairly standardized engines that most games are developed in, and so you often will see. Now, I guess the point here is just to rotate. I'm not 100% sure how to do this. Run, press B. No, you have to hold B. Totally should be a checkpoint here. Run, hold B. If I was just to run and press B when that is not available, then I would.
Not too much more of this, I hope. Just keep your eyes open.
Maybe when I'm done here, Herr Göring is at hiding.
Seems like one of them picked up a chair and was going to use that against me. Let's see, can we pick up chairs? Interesting. So we could have done a whole brawl. Although noticeably using a chair didn't protect me. Alright, let's do something here. Let's go ahead and quit. And then go back to the main menu. Since there's this weird situation where you... Let's see. Wow. Looking at the list here, it looks like there might be a lot more areas. Prog the dungeon. We'll load that. Then options, difficulty, easy. That may lead to us just taking a little bit less damage, so we don't have to potentially worry as much. Although, in all fairness, if the game does just hand me extra bullets and extra and less damage, that is only going to help so far.
Not too much
I
more
also
of this, I hope.
have extra bullets now.
Just keep your eyes open.
So weird that there wouldn't be something else collectible here. Like, very noticeably, there really is no stealth gameplay in this. The idea of stealth gameplay, I see the beginnings of that idea, but the reality of the situation is these guys tend to just see you through walls or when they really aren't looking in that direction. This would have been a good point to open the door. Yeah, I don't see any switch that would actually open that section. And then this one seems like that one's fairly safe. It makes no sense whatsoever, though, to not have a checkpoint at this level. Like, because they are effectively telling you there's a checkpoint. Also here, a lot of chattering. And we can even see that there is a collectible here, so either we're coming back to this room. There's a guy down there. Can I hit him? Revolver is way better of a gun. And since I don't think we're ever actually going to have a like boss fight, I don't think you really need to save. Alright, well, that guy wanted to fight me bare-fisted. It would have made a lot of sense to take him up on that offer. Would there really be a way to get up to this point? Seems almost like you could, but no. It would make a lot of sense to also put a checkpoint at this level. So run and press B and hold B. Then wait until you lose momentum. Then with the right stick. Well, interestingly here I'm seeing that the left stick and the right stick are not letting me turn. And that hook does really imply that that was a one-way direction. I guess it really was a matter here of seeing that ledge, and they probably should have done something visually to show the ledge. I could also see people potentially thinking they need to drop down and climb the ledge with their while hanging. I could also see them redoing the level in such a way that you had to grab the ledge and that there wouldn't have been an alcove to hug the wall. I'm just hoping for a checkpoint at some point here. So we are still full circle. Yeah, and how many times do you really want to do this whole level over again? Even on easy difficulty, you're not changing much. It does look like there might be a collectible up there at some point to grab.
Not too much more of this, I hope. Just keep your eyes open.
It's interesting that you target. It's interesting that you target corpses for a fairly large amount of time. What happens if I take a chair and throw it? And nothing. See, and this is the mistake, is that if you let two of them show up, and it gets double dangerous. This one's not even that dangerous. Because you'd have to be directly in line with the blades. For that to hit you, although I did manage to allow that to hit me a couple times there. The bird squeaking does really feel like there is some kind of collectible. It's not worth your time, however, to swap mid-game with when you're shooting from one gun to the other. That leaves you too vulnerable.
Wir können hier Hilfe gebrauchen.
Is he dead? Interesting. So we might be able to save a bullet by waiting until he's climbing the ladder. But I'd say it's more of a time management decision to shoot this guy. I just don't want to punch him for 5 minutes, particularly since we have died multiple times and had to reset here. And yes, once you figure out the solution to things, it gets easier and you can run, but I don't want to see this game just boil down into repetitive die once type gameplay before you figure out what you're supposed to do. There's a lot of problems with Sierra games, which were the direct competitors to the LucasArts point-and-click games. So that for them to almost spit on the legacy of LucasArts games where you really can't die ever by introducing cheat deaths, that just doesn't feel I suspect maybe the trick is to go back around here, because this is potentially a shorter distance than that, or maybe there's a swing here. Problem is, all we can really do is jump. So what am I doing wrong? Let's ask a question here. What happens if I just jump down here? I take a minimal amount of damage.
Not too much this, I hope. Just keep your eyes open.
That is where the bird sound effect is, too, weirdly. So is there possibly a secret? Like entrance way? That should be more than enough to get us through this point. I wonder if it's a case that I have to hold B when I jump on the chain. And then I'm just not automatically grabbing the ledge. Wow. That was kind of amazing that he actually flipped over the banister.
Wir können hier Hilfe gebrauchen.
Come on. I just need to move out of the way so he doesn't hit me. Yeah, I'm kind of hoping this level is shorter for as much struggle as I'm having. And what I'm struggling on is pretty stupid stuff. I guess the general idea is that there's practically just no playtesting on even second generation 3D platforming games like this. Because if there was some playtesting, you would have put a checkpoint. Okay. My only hope is to run and press B. Unless the door opened and there was a whole other section, which we might as well test for that. That would be incredibly weird.
That's not gonna work.
You don't have any other ledge. Both of them seem like they are fairly equal distance away from each other. And it does kind of seem like maybe this is the longer distance. My other thought certainly would be if there was a way to get up higher. We're just missing it. Yeah, best case scenario, you're here, and then you late jump. I'm holding the B button. Okay. So now I'm holding the B button with my left thumb moving the right analog stick upward to Maybe I'm not supposed to really capture these ledges so much as I'm supposed to just go up here. Now I've taken my hand off the B button, so maybe you only had to do that for a brief amount of time. Notice how the flame just popped in there. I'm gonna have to wait till he gets closer. Yeah, it looks like there's a treasure there. Looks like there's probably nothing in here. Really would like for the game to be done. I don't know how you would get to the treasure in here, though. Let's also drink some water, because I don't want to end up back at square one. This is quite the prison. That opened that one, which maybe means it also opened this one. And there's just some bullets there. And again, he's got a bead on somebody. Or it seems like he does. Maybe he just points the gun downward sometimes, like he's targeting something. This is quite the dungeon. Although, of a certain era, I would kind of imagine a lot of castles may have had dungeons. Although, I'd assume you would have turned them into wine cellars by this point. Interesting. So we've got rats. This is the first time we've seen rats as a thing. That's a lot of rats if I was supposed to shoot at them. And he's not really hitting them. So maybe we're just supposed to whip them? Nope, it basically seems like we're just going to be able to walk near them. Let's see, there's a climbing section that way. There's a water refill that way. So, let's go here. The rats are afraid of me. Good. And Indiana Jones does not have any fear of rats. So we can just leave it at that. This water is fairly blue, so I might have been a little concerned that it was poison water or something, but seems not to be the case. And a water fountain in the watery section is interesting. Maybe that's a hint that at some point we'll fight a giant rat. Okay, so now we're back to this, but the good news is if we were to fall to our death, I think we generally know what to do. Which is just try again, possibly drink some water. It does seem to me, and this could just be a big problem overall. Why can I not just climb up here? I can. There's a thing up that way. And it seems like there's no thing that way. Kind of annoying squeaking sound. So let's see what this does. It seems like you just are toggling between two options. Okay. And yeah, I don't see a treasure in that direction. There probably should be more treasures. So you don't have to press B. So I don't know what happened the last time. I must have just missed it the two other attempts I tried. If you get to the very top of this chains, you can't jump. This seems a little unfair, though. Like, because am I supposed to just fall down here and take a little bit of damage? Let's see. Could I get to that platform and swing all the way through? Or am I supposed to just be able to jump to this? Squeaky, squeaky nice. Put away our canteen and then maybe we can grab the ledge a little bit easier. Yeah, my major concern here is that we're going to eventually have jumps that are really, really tight and a lack of checkpointing to accommodate for that. See. Although this may just be the end of a major part of that level too.
The cowardly American is hiding around here somewhere.
Can we stealth-wise take out people? Because clearly they want us to be a stealth game. Even though it really just is not programmed well enough to be a stealth game. Or should I just shoot these guys as they are? I think you probably are better off just shooting them. Well, this is an interesting statue. Some real polishing put into that.
Tötet ihn! Wir können hier Hilfe bekommen. Tötet ihn!
So much for that gun. Darn it. Am I supposed to be holding the whip? Can we get to the cantina to drink, to refill our health? So I'm slightly questioning whether I actually lowered the difficulty, and slightly just questioning if this isn't more of a situation where you are going to have high difficulty no matter what. And this would be so much helpful if we it'd be so much more helpful if we had more bullets, or if we had a sucker punch, which it's important to mention that, yeah. Let's just see if we can flee for our lives. Indiana Jones and the Fate of Atlantis clearly recognized, and I'm not sure if The Last Crusade had a sucker punch option, but they clearly recognized that there was a good percentage of players that weren't going to want to engage in fighting, and so the ability to just hit the sucker punch button at any point and succeed let you get through points like that. Okay. one Luger shot. Which means it's not worth even equipping it.
Wir können hier Hilfe gebrauchen.
And there's no little sneaky corners or anything to, like, find bullets or anything like that. And that machine gun failed miserably as a weapon. There might be something we can break. Alright, we now have a demo charge. But these are not breakable boxes, I don't think. And this is the gate we started with. So I assume we're not supposed to just use the demo charge to blow up that. I guess technically we might be loaded into the same outer world level. Right. Get the gun. That gets us to 5 shots. Then let's go shoot the other guy who has a gun. And then we'll... Well... In all fairness, I am not really trying to block punches. This feels like we're going in circles though. And that they're just infinitely spawning enemies.
That's nice.
So there's a door attempt to open. I probably am playing on an easier difficulty now, though. For as much as these guys have managed to oh yeah, they are just spawning out of this area. Where am I supposed to be going, though? It's either we're supposed to go up and to the side on this section, which that makes a lot of sense, or we're supposed to blow up the front door, and we're just not getting a door prompt. And if we have an infinite spawning section, then you kind of know that it is a stealth section.
That's not gonna work.
Alright. Demo charge 1 of 2. Maybe I'm supposed to put these on the cars. See if that makes any sense. Come on.
That's not gonna work.
That's not gonna work, that's not gonna work. Am I supposed to be blowing up this statue? Am I supposed to be blowing up this motorcycle? Am I supposed to be blowing up this? This is nice and shiny, so you'd think maybe that's what you're supposed to do. And at what point was this game going to, like, explain itself? Yeah. This is it. And yeah, it just is very much getting down to the question of what kind of game is this that effectively is now throwing infinite spawning enemies at you who have unfairly infinite amounts of bullets when you have limited amount of health and limited amount of bullets yourself. And what is the point of... I guess we'll use a med kit here. And hope that's somewhat wise. Sounds like somebody's drowning or coughing. Yeah, I don't see the real value in unlocking 3 weapons and a machine gun in particular when you're not going to have bullets to use it. And it is pretty bad that they give you a machine gun in a section where the machine gun would waste its bullets more than usual. Yeah, this definitely just feels like we are straight up in the same castle that Indiana Jones and the Last Crusade, or yeah, I think it was Last Crusade. It definitely feels like a callback is happening. And I guess we have some destructible environment. And maybe they were showing that off. I wouldn't be surprised if this level in particular was designed to really highlight destructible environment and be a vertical slice or a demo. Which, yeah, this still would have been in an era in which demos would have potentially existed. Man, there's a lot of stuff in this room that would have been breakable. I doubt, though, you would end up in that big of a fight to have actually broken all of that. And then, weirdly, you can't move this curtain open more. Or just jump through this section. You'd half expect there to be a cutscene there. Alright, well, I am ending this level on a certain disappointment. What the game does have to offer is still very limited, since it is what I would define as a second generation 3D platforming game, but it has gone in a weird direction with infinite spawning enemies. It's gone in a weird direction with giving us a gun that we probably will never be able to use on top of another gun that is very limited on top of another gun that's very limited. We died quite a bit to dumb jumps, with the game really not caring that that we were dying and giving us the level of checkpoints that you would expect in a modern game. It does seem like they're trying to be somewhat realistic around the size of this level, so I wouldn't be surprised if there's just another hour. That it's silly to say just, but yeah. I wouldn't be surprised if it is just another hour in this one level, and then we'll have 2 hours in the next level, 2 hours in the next level. But in each of these sections, I wouldn't be surprised if it starts to get very, very repetitive. And unlike Indiana Jones and the Impossible Machine, where I could fairly quickly determine that it wasn't a game that I really wanted to play all the way through, my concern is that with the Emperor's Tomb, we're going to get pot committed, as it were, to use a poker term, and we'll be 5-6 hours into the game, and I won't be having very much fun with it, and then I'll kind of think about quitting at that point, but probably not determined to quit because I've just already spent the effort. Particularly, I would say if you got to the second level, or if you've watched me up until this point and you're not seeing anything that you personally would want to play, you probably don't want to play this game, because I imagine there aren't that many big surprises. Maybe a big boss fight at the end. I wouldn't be surprised if the boss fight in this level, though, is just infinitely spawning enemies that we have to run around and avoid. What that section really needed was an alarm. Now, the music is too ambitious in this game and gets repetitive and a little too in your face. It's not subtle background music that's easy to ignore. It's Indiana Jones music designed like the Indiana Jones music in movies to keep your blood pumping and give you the feeling of high action, which can be overwhelming in video games when you hear the music for hours and hours and hours, instead of, say, 5 minutes, 10 minutes in a movie. But that level desperately needed an alarm, a siren going off. That maybe would have led me to think that there was a way to turn off the siren. Like the next step after a siren would have been to have Indiana Jones saying, I need to get out of here quick. I need to find a way to escape. Just have Indiana Jones talk to himself to give a hint to the player as to what they were supposed to do. They just keep coming. Those are all 3 lines of dialogue that you could just have them cycling. I got to get out of here. They just keep coming. I need to find a way to escape. But that still doesn't cover the main problem, in that up until this point in the level, we've been heavily encouraged to shoot everybody and kill them, and that there was a finite number of enemies. In the dungeon section, I can't imagine there would have been a way that you could have just run around the enemies or snuck around them. And I guess at a certain level, since there are attempts at stealth sections here, very poor attempts, you might get into defining the next generation of 3D adventure games as a subdivision of them as stealth games. When you start to get into the Splinter Cell type of games and the Metal Gear Solid type of games where stealth is a big factor. Although in the case of a lot of those games, Thief is another example, they often have a way in which you don't actually have to succeed at the stealth section. And I'm not sure that there are very many good games that require you to be 100% successful as a stealth player. The most modern games will often allow you to be sneaky and stealthy, perhaps just in small subsections, not in the entirety of the game. I guess they could have just given me infinite bullets in that level too, if they didn't want to record any more lines of dialogue. Had there just been a box of machine gun bullets and I picked up all the machine gun bullets and then started to shoot everybody, I could have done that. Although if you had offered that as an option, then I would have probably stayed there for 10 minutes thinking I'm supposed to kill all the characters. it would have made a lot more sense to have a siren going off. Also, if you establish the idea that when a siren is going off, they will just keep on coming, which probably is what the "we need backup" line of dialogue is trying to imply. So now, anytime in the future when I hear "we need backup," I'm going to assume that that might be infinitely spawning segment. Anyways, we've gone over an hour. That's going to be it for this recording. As always, I ask you to like, share, subscribe, comment, and watch every second of my videos. If you want to support me even further, there's some links down below in the description box. Thank you for watching. Have a good evening.